Hello everybody, today I'm going to be designing, creating and drawing out my own newspaper using only a single pen, some colours and some paper. Now without further ado, let's go! So the first thing I'm going to do is draw out the rough pencil sketch of the paper. A newspaper is actually more words than pictures, and so this is going to be kind of a lesson in fonts and different textiles, and so I've drawn all the text boxes. Now I'm going to draw some other boxes where I can fit in some other text and pictures and drawings, and I'm going to do these in rough pencil outlines, and then I'm just going to shave over them with this ink, and the top text, which is going to be the name of the newspaper, will be coloured in all black. And the name of the newspaper is The Daily Shoutout. Not a very creative name. I was thinking of calling it The Daily Slap in the Face, but I decided to keep a more sensible name. I'm not going to colour all of this text in, simply because I think I want it to look a bit different. And now I'm going to do the little box where it says Daily Shoutout. And now I'm going to use the ruler to add some straight lines, because up till now it's been rather disorderly. Yep. Fill in those lines and perhaps add some patterns so it looks like at least a credible newspaper. And now this is what I've got so far. The Daily Shoutout, it's the cover of the newspaper. Now over those squares which I drew everywhere, I'm going to be drawing with pen. Now you might be wondering, Mustafa, why are you drawing the pen lines with rulers, but you didn't do the pencil lines with rulers? Well, the pencil lines are kind of the rough sketch out, and the pen lines are going to be there forever, so I need to get them right. And this is very important, because if I don't get them right, then I'm going to need to throw this whole paper in the bin, because newspapers are printed and this has to look perfect. So these boxes, or whatever you want to call them, some of them will contain pictures and some of them will contain words, and I can kind of add the outlines in there. It's actually very easy. Okay, I'm going to finish 3 little boxes over here which are going to contain the names of the authors, and now I am going to do the side border of the newspaper with my ruler and make it as straight as possible. Right, once I finish that, I'm going to add some patterns on the side of the newspaper, or on the border, just for the fun of it, just so it can look beautiful and decorative. And I'm just going to draw some random patterns, because a lot of newspapers have their logos or a banner on the side, and this is going to be the banner of the Daily Shoutout. So some triangles and circles and black for contrast in between the shapes. And I'm going to cross hatch these parts on the edge just to make it look more patterny. Alright, and now I'm going to add some pictures, the name of the author. This is a close-up of a criminal with a rather big nose, and he's wearing a shirt, and there are people around him. And so this is I'm not trying to make it look as realistic as possible, but I'm trying to imitate how it would look in a real newspaper with real photography. And I've written This Man is a Criminal by Tom Bilthorpe. So this already looks like a realistic article that a journalist would write. And now I'm going to do some more. So I'm going to do some tiny little words and text here, and then it's going to say continue on page 5. Close-up shots of the man, and now here are going to be shots of the criminal in order, and some different graphics which just make the whole thing more dramatic. More text over here, and then it'll say continue on page 5. So I've kind of done my text. I'm going to do another picture here. This picture is a picture of a man snowboarding, skating, skiing, whatever. Skateboarding, yeah. And then another man kicking a goal. So this is a sports section, and it says, it's a goal! And there's all the sections here, sport, news, blah, 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 trends, opinions, all these sections here. And I'm going to, once again, use a ruler to make the border nice. Yep, I'm going to add my little patterns here. So no two borders look the same, really, because this is a very exclusive special newspaper. It's not called the Daily Shoutout for no reason. And now adding those in just to make it look more patterny. Adding the final touches, a few cross hatches everywhere, ink blobs everywhere, how it would look if it was a real printed newspaper. So that's the end result. There's some pictures, there's words everywhere, sensationalism, the daily shout out, titles, borders, different names of the different authors. Yes, I'm really pleased with it. Now I am going to do the second page. So I learnt in the first page that actually it would have been quite useful had I also used ruler on the pencils. It would have done most of the work for me. So now I'm going to use the ruler on the pencil. I'm going to add squares in different formations, and in these squares I'm going to add text and things. Yes, and now I'm going to use the ruler and use my ink pen to outline them all. Okay. One little trick I would suggest is that you could take a pen or some ink and then dip it in the ink. Use a fountain pen. I didn't do this, but it would be a nice trick to do this. And then just dab ink everywhere so it looks like there are splots of inks everywhere, splodges of inks. And so it would look like an old-fashioned newspaper. But, I mean, if you're looking for a vintage kind of look, then, yeah, that's how it would be. Here's a picture of a man punching someone. I love drawing fights. And there's loads of text here. The text isn't really in detail, but yeah, I've kind of made it look like it is text, so it isn't really real text. And there's an advertisement here. Notice whenever you do a newspaper, you have to add the advertisement so it looks like a real world newspaper with these ads everywhere. I don't know, and I'm going to colour in the words with purple. You can add some colour, but colour one thing in the page and then leave it at that. You can colour everything if you want, but I prefer to keep it in this old-fashioned kind of style. So, yes, choco milk for you, that's what it says. I really love the front page. The back page, not so much. I think it's not very good. Well, I think I've almost finished my newspaper now, and thank you for watching.